Okay, stick with me for a second. What if the body you inhabit isn't just a biological machine, but something far more dynamic? Something that's constantly talking to you, reflecting your deepest thoughts and feelings.
Mhm.
And what if even the most challenging physical conditions you might face aren't random bad luck, but have roots tangled up in your own consciousness? That's a pretty radical starting point,
Yeah,
huh?
it absolutely is. And that radical idea is precisely what the source material for this deep dive explores. We're looking at a system of healing that was actually developed by someone who applied these very principles to heal himself from a terminal illness, no less.
Wow.
The core premise, the absolute bedrock of this approach, is that anything can be healed. And the reason, according to this system, is that your physical body is a direct, literal mirror of your consciousness.
Fascinating. So, our mission today is to dive into this system to understand its fundamental view of consciousness, energy, and how symptoms show up. And then we'll explore some of the practical techniques it offers. We're taking a deep dive into this specific material to see what key insights it holds. Let's jump in.
So, right at the foundation, this system operates from the belief that you are, at your most fundamental level, pure consciousness, an experience of being.
Just being.
Yeah, that's the essence, the physical body. It's not who you are. It's presented as like a vehicle for that consciousness and also a denser, more physical extension of it.
Okay, so how does that connection work? The source lays out a kind of chain reaction. Consciousness flows through an energy field.
Right.
And that energy field then creates the physical body. And when things go sideways, it's seen as starting with a decision made in consciousness,
A decision, yes.
which then causes a blockage or tension in the energy field. And that blockage ultimately shows up as a physical symptom in the body. Is that about right?
That's the model, exactly. The human energy system is described as layers of energy at different densities. There's a subtle outer aura, which the source says can extend, a couple of meters or more beyond the physical form.
Meters!
Yeah, getting progressively denser until you reach what we perceive as the solid physical body. And the force points to Kirlian photography as fascinating evidence here.
Oh, right. I've heard of that. Captures energy fields.
Supposedly, yes. This technique showed this visible energy field around leaves and even human hands. What was particularly striking, according to the text, was that these Kirlian photos could apparently reveal weaknesses in the energy field before they manifested physically.
Before, so like a warning sign.
Kind of. And in one example they give, a cut leaf showed a gap in its physical form in the photo, obviously, but its energy field in the Kirlian image still appeared whole.
Wait, whole, even though part was cut off.
That's what the source claims, suggesting the energy body holds the complete template, the blueprint, you might say.
Wow, the energy body holding the form even if the physical body is incomplete. That's genuinely mind-bending.
It is.
So if the body is a mirror and energy flows from consciousness, that means symptoms aren't just random accidents or breakdowns, they're messages, right?
Exactly. That's how the source frames it.
The source sees illness or injury as the physical manifestation of that blocked energy.
Exactly. Think of it as your body speaking to you. And how does the energy get blocked in the first place? Well, according to this system, it happens when you resist the natural flow of energy.
Resist. How?
This resistance often comes from ignoring your inner voice, your intuition. The source describes intuition as giving you a simple signal. Does something feel good or not good, like a gut feeling?
Okay, makes sense.
When you override that inner guidance and force yourself to move in a direction that feels not good, you create internal resistance and tension.
Yeah.
Persist in that tension, and it can eventually solidify into a physical symptom, a disease, an injury, whatever form it takes.
This system was born out of the author's own experience, and he shares a very powerful example. He developed terminal spinal cord cancer at the neck level, leading to paralysis and intense pain.
Yeah, really tough situation.
And in this system's interpretation, cancer is seen as holding something in, something unexpressed. For him, located in the neck, it was linked to communication and expression.
Makes sense, the throat chakra area.
Right. He felt unable to communicate honestly, particularly in an unhappy marriage, without conflict. The physical symptom of paralysis was interpreted as self-paralysis. He was energetically paralyzing himself by not allowing his true self and voice to be expressed.
And the core idea is that when you release that tension, when you change the underlying decision in consciousness, the energy is free to flow smoothly again. Unblock the energy, and the symptom can release.
So the body's waiting for the mind to catch up.
It's presented kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah.
As though the body is holding on to the truth of the inner tension until the person inside the body gets it. Once the inner understanding and release happen, the physical changes can follow.
Okay. Within this energy system, the chakras are presented as really key components, almost like energetic pumps or valves. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, valves or pumps regulating the flow of energy throughout the body. They're seen as dynamic parts of your consciousness.
Part of my consciousness, not just
Yeah.
energy centers.
According to this source, yes. They regulate how energy moves and expresses itself physically. The state of your chakras is considered a reflection of the decisions you're making moment to moment about how you respond to life.
So my thoughts and feelings are opening and closing these valves.
Literally, yes. That's the idea. When you hold on to tension, the associated chakra can get stuck or blocked. And the source draws a connection between the chakras, the endocrine glands, and major nerve plexuses.
Oh, linking the subtle to the physical.
Exactly. Suggesting that tension held in the part of your consciousness affects the linked chakra, which transmits that tension to the endocrine gland, altering body chemistry.
So over time.
Over time, potentially leading to physical symptoms if the tension is significant enough.
So it's like the location of the physical symptom or the tension in your energy system points you directly to the area of consciousness where that tension originates, like a map.
Pretty much. Tension down at the base,
Yeah.
connected to the root chakra, might be about security, money, home, feeling grounded.
Right.
Higher up in the abdomen, linked to the orange chakra, it could be about creativity, relationships, things like food or sex.
Okay.
At the solar plexus, the yellow chakra, it's often tied to personal power, control, and your freedom to be authentically yourself. The symptom becomes this readable language, giving you specific clues about the inner tension.
And the crucial takeaway is that you are the one deciding the state of your chakras.
Mhm.
They aren't external forces. They're presented as parts of your consciousness, responding to your choices about how you engage with life. Keeping them balanced and flowing is a direct result of your internal navigation.
That's the essence of it. Your internal state shapes your energy flow.
This leads to maybe one of the most impactful and potentially challenging ideas in the material, the radical power of perception.
Ah, yes.
The idea that our perceptions don't just filter reality, they actively create it. They use the analogy of someone in a red bubble seeing everything as red and someone in a blue bubble seeing everything as blue.
Right. Both are right from their perspective, but their internal filter dictates their external experience.
So my reality isn't objective.
That's the core concept. Whatever you believe to be true is true for you. Your beliefs are built from how you interpret your experiences.
How I interpret them.
And the source emphasizes that the words you use internally to describe those experiences are incredibly powerful in shaping your beliefs and subsequently your reality. They give a simple example, like eating grapefruit if you believe it makes you thin.
It helps make you thin.
It will tend to contribute to that reality for you. If you believe it makes you fat, that becomes your truth. The belief itself has power.
That's a mind shift, and the flat tire story they share really drives this home.
Oh yeah, that one's vivid.
A man gets a flat tire near a farmhouse. As he walks to ask for help, he starts thinking, they'll probably have tools, I'll offer them $10. Pretty reasonable start.
Mm-hmm.
But then his thoughts spiral. It's remote, they know I'm stuck, they'll probably demand $50. By the time he reaches the farmhouse,
He's already worked himself up.
completely. His internal thought process, his perception of the situation and the farmer's motives has escalated to such a point that he confronts the farmer aggressively, essentially creating the very conflict he feared.
His internal reality shaped his external interaction.
Exactly.
So if we connect this back to healing, it offers a profound possibility.
Absolutely.
If a purely physical, conventional reality bubble says nothing can be done for a condition, that might be true within that bubble.
Right, within that belief system.
But this system suggests you can explore alternative reality bubbles where healing is possible, offering a chance for a different outcome. It's about shifting perception. Healing, in this view, isn't necessarily suspending physical laws, but perhaps operating by different laws that exist within a different perceptual reality.
A different set of rules.
Kind of. And the source is practical here, saying it's about choosing what approach or combination of approaches works best for you. Maybe it's conventional medicine, maybe it's this, maybe it's both.
Okay, so if this is the theory that our body reflects our consciousness and our perception creates reality, what does this system actually give us to do with that knowledge? How do we apply this for healing?
Good question.
The source presents healing as a technology of consciousness, something accessible to anyone, not just those with special abilities.
Right, it's framed as a set of tools.
Yeah.
There are fundamental exercises for working directly with energy. This includes learning to simply feel energy, noticing sensations like warmth, coolness, or sense of flow.
Interesting.
Starting there, yeah. Then practicing directing energy, which is presented as simply making a decision about where you want the energy to go.
Yeah.
Just deciding. And finally, learning to see energy, or auras. These exercises often involve a three-step process described in the source. First, decide what you want to be true, like, I will feel energy in my hands.
Decide it first.
Yep. Second, encourage the perception. Just act as if it's happening. Kind of fake it till you make it, you could say.
Okay, act as if.
And third, decide that it is true now, trusting your subjective experience. The emphasis is that your internal experience is valid, even if it feels like imagination at first.
Right, imagination can be powerful. And working directly with the chakras is a key technique too.
Definitely. The classic healing method described involves using the natural vibrant colors associated with each chakra as a model of wellness.
The rainbow colors.
Those ones. If you perceive a chakra as a different color or dull or stuck, the technique is to energetically remove that discordant energy or color and replace it with the chakra's true, healthy color, visualizing it spinning clearly.
Visualizing the healthy state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another approach is working with what the source calls thought forms.
Thought forms, what are those?
They're described as energetic entities, essentially distinct energy patterns created by our persistent thoughts, beliefs, or emotional states existing at what's called the etheric level.
The subtle energy layer.
Right, just beyond the physical body. Removing these thought forms is seen as a way to release symptoms linked to them.
Can you give an example?
Sure. The source gives specific examples, like removing an energetic hook that's associated with addiction. Interestingly, it's said to show up in the chakra related to the underlying reason for the addiction.
Not the substance itself.
Not necessarily, but the deeper issue, like maybe powerlessness or lack of love. They also mention removing a hole, which is described as an energetic pattern related to lack or absence.
A hole. That sounds bad.
Well, interestingly, they note that sometimes having an energetic hole can actually be a useful tool for receiving energy, so it's not always negative.
Huh. Okay.
And they also describe a technique called psychic brain surgery.
Whoa. Okay, what's that?
It isn't literal surgery, of course. It's an energetic process to resolve non-communication between specific energetic centers, often referred to in this system as the male and female energetic poles within a person.
Like masculine and feminine energies.
Sort of, which the source suggests can sometimes mirror patterns learned from parents who didn't communicate well, like healing a communication breakdown within yourself.
That's fascinating. And they mentioned using white light too.
Yes, using white light, particularly for immediate situations or first aid, energetic clearing, to quickly fill an area or person with light and promote symptom release, a sort of general clearing technique.
And these techniques, they can be used for others, but also on yourself, and even at a distance.
And importantly, yes, these principles are presented as applicable to distance healing and self-healing, using the same core idea of directing energy with your consciousness and intent.
This framework also connects us, energetically speaking, inward and outward, which the source describes using the concepts of roots, branches, and crown. Tell me about that.
Right. So the red chakra at the base of the spine is seen as our connection to the earth. The earth is presented as the mother aspect, representing security, stability, nourishment.
Grounding.
Exactly. A key visualization is sending energetic roots down into the earth, grounding yourself, and drawing up supportive energy and nourishment. And this scene you perceive during this visualization, like, is the soil rich or barren? That's said to reflect your feelings about being on Earth, your relationship with the mother figure, or your sense of security.
So your inner state shows up in the visualization. And the crown.
And at the other end, the violet chakra at the crown of the head is seen as our connection to cosmic energies, linked to the Father, authority, and God. Openness to spirit, you might say.
Father, mother, heaven, earth. Archetypal stuff.
Very much so. The source even delves into how energetic tensions from previous lifetimes can influence current life imbalances.
Past lives influencing this one.
That's the idea presented. They give an example of groups of healers who were persecuted in past lives, potentially carrying that energetic tension.
Fear, maybe.
Fear, rebellion, which could correlate to choosing lives in the present with absent or unsupportive father figures, reflecting an imbalance with the father or authority aspect.
Wow.
They share a powerful story of resolving a current throat issue by energetically releasing a scream that a woman had held onto from a past life where she was silenced before being killed.
Releasing an ancient scream.
It's about finding and releasing the original energetic blockage, according to this system, regardless of when it was created.
Okay, moving beyond the personal energy system, the source explores how these principles play out in our interactions with others and the world around us, touching on several other dimensions. One is mirroring.
Ah, yes, mirroring. The feedback process in healing, where the healer shares their perception of the subject's energy field or consciousness state, essentially sharing what they see from their reality bubble.
What they perceive.
Right. That's seen as mirroring everyday communication dynamics. The idea is that what we perceive in others, how we react to them, might often be reflecting something within ourselves that needs attention or understanding.
What bugs me about someone else might be something in me.
Could be, yeah. Or something you need to learn from. Then there's winds and waves, or co-creation.
Co-creation, meaning we're not creating in a vacuum.
Exactly. The source is clear that while your consciousness creates your reality, you're not alone. Other consciousnesses are also co-creating. Physical events are presented as the convergence of decisions made by all consciousnesses involved.
So, like a group project.
In a way, your goals energize certain potential outcomes, but your fears also energize outcomes, sometimes making what you fear more likely.
Oh, right. Energy follows attention, good or bad.
The guidance is to ride the winds and waves, meaning to be fully present and move with what is happening rather than rigidly resisting it, flowing with life.
This ties directly into responsibility.
A big one. A major theme is owning responsibility for your own life, your body, and the decisions you make in your consciousness.
Taking ownership.
Yes. And this also means releasing others from responsibility for your outcomes. The source makes a strong point that even parents aren't ultimately responsible for how a child chooses to respond to their environment or the ideas they internalize.
Wait, not even parents?
According to this view, the child is seen as creating their own reality and responsible for what happens to them. It's a powerful, maybe even confronting reclaiming of personal agency.
That is confronting. Okay, what else?
And perhaps the most fundamental dimension discussed is that love heals.
Love, of course.
Love is described as the cosmic glue, the essential element that underpins creation itself and facilitates flow. The source suggests that the missing ingredient in many difficult situations is often the simple perception of being loved.
The feeling or belief that you are loved.
Exactly. The belief that you are loved and lovable allows energy to flow freely. They introduce the concept of a love radar, the ability to send love energetically from your bubble to another and perceive if it's accepted or returned, confirming that connection is possible.
Like sending out a signal.
Kind of. Healing itself is seen as creating an environment of acceptance and unconditional love, helping the subject relax their defenses and allow their perception to rise to a level where they can experience being loved. To the heart level, they say.
Creating a safe space.
Precisely. They even reference insights from thinkers like Jeffrey Love, who saw individuals as quantum gods, powerful co-creators shaping reality, ultimately driven by a deep desire to end the feeling of aloneness.
Which is about seeking love.
Which is a fundamental aspect of seeking love, yes.
Finally, the source explores karma as a framework for understanding life events.
Right, karma. Not just punishment, though. They outline 3 elements. Moving towards goal completion, like unfinished business carrying forward.
Okay.
The returning effects of your actions, cause and effect. And adjusting your perceptions towards equality, learning balance.
Learning balance.
The insight here is that viewing events through the lens of karma isn't about punishment, but about gaining understanding for why things unfolded as they did, releasing the tension of confusion or injustice.
Seeing the bigger picture.
Maybe. Accidents or physical symptoms are sometimes seen as karmic messages from the body or spirit, often occurring when intuition or emotional guidance was ignored.
Like the body shouting when whispers weren't heard.
That's a good way to put it. And group accidents are viewed as co-created events, where everyone involved made decisions that led them to that convergence point. Shared karma, perhaps.
Complex stuff. So, bringing it back to the healing process. After a session using these techniques, the source stresses the importance of feedback.
Yes, feedback is vital. It's crucial for the healer, in this model, to communicate what they perceived was cleared in the subject's energy or consciousness, and what associated thinking patterns were involved.
Why is that so important?
Well, it isn't about placing blame, but about empowering the subject to become consciously aware and choose differently going forward, to break the old pattern.
Making the unconscious conscious.
Exactly. And the focus is always directed towards the positive future and the desired outcome, not dwelling on the past problem. Look forward, not back.
And the material suggests that if the feedback is valid, something deep inside you will resonate with it, even if you don't immediately recognize it intellectually.
Right. It lands on a deeper intuitive level.
Yeah.
You might think, that sounds right, even if you can't explain why right away.
Okay. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We certainly have. We've journeyed through the core concepts of this system.
Yeah.
The fundamental idea that consciousness is energy and your body is its mirror.
That symptoms are readable messages from within.
The radical power of your perception and beliefs to create your reality.
And that healing is presented as an accessible technology of consciousness, offering tools like working with energy, chakras, and thought forms.
We've touched on connecting inward and outward with roots and crown, and explored broader dimensions like mirroring, co-creation, the power of personal responsibility.
The essential healing nature of love, and karma as a framework for understanding.
At the heart of it all is that profound belief. Anything can be healed. It stems from this system's core tenet that we are powerful beings of consciousness, directing energy.
And we have the inherent ability to unblock that energy flow to return to our natural state of wholeness.
It's about reclaiming that natural state of perfect balance and health, which is always presented as the default setting beneath the layers of tension and blocked energy. Getting back to baseline.
So let this settle in for you listening. If your reality is truly shaped by your perception and belief, and your body is a direct mirror of your consciousness, what incredible, seemingly impossible change could you begin to create in your life, starting right now, just by shifting your internal view? What might your body be trying to tell you at this very moment, and what new decision could you choose to make in response?